What's up, friends? Welcome back to another episode of Confidently Flawed. Your host, Brooke here. Danny is not here, but I'm going to take over this episode and talk about something that I know so many struggle with. I know myself, and I know Danny as well. We also struggle with this, and that is seasonal allergies. Seasonal allergies tend to be pretty common, especially those who live in multiple seasons, like Michigan, right? We have the four seasons, and it can be miserable. The sniffles, the headaches, the sinus pressures, it can be miserable. And while I'm not here to tell you to stop doing anything that gives you relief, because trust me, I get it, the relief sometimes is needed. But I also want to just encourage you to maybe put some of these topics or put some of these tasks front of mind for you when you're trying to relieve your allergies a little bit more naturally, because you'll be amazed at what you can do just through your diet and just through your lifestyle that can actually dramatically improve your allergies this season. I talked about it last week and I want to bring it up first, and that's local raw honey. Local raw honey is honey that comes obviously locally and it's created from local bees that are pollinating your flowers, your plants, your grasses. And what happens with the honey is you get little small amounts of the local produce in your honey, like the local grasses, the local flowers. So your body starts to kind of get accustomed to those potential triggers in your body before it gets bad, or you just get that slow amount. So if you are someone who does struggle with really bad allergies, I highly recommend finding local raw honey and taking a spoonful every single day. You can just eat it right from the spoon. You could put that spoonful in like a protein shake. You could put it in your coffee or your honey. You could put it in your coffee or your tea. You can put it in your yogurt. I even love to put honey actually on like chicken wings or even like bananas and honey, like whatever that may be. Consuming that honey is going to be an incredible way for you to get the nutrients. But I also want to talk about nutrients in specific. I think it's amazing when we what consider what the earth really truly does provide us. If you look at some of the if you look at some of the vital nutrients that I believe is so important for just the first line of defense, especially when it comes to allergies and our immune system in general, I recommend vitamin E, vitamin C, magnesium, vitamin D, and probiotics, and actually even a little bit of fiber. And when you look at all of these nutrients, what do they have in common? Many of them can be found in spring seasonal produce. For example, your kale, your oranges, your root vegetables, your strawberries, your berries in general. All of these items, all of these nutrients are present in seasonal produce. And so while you might so that is why eating seasonally can be so incredibly important. Again, the earth really truly does provide us with exactly what we need. And if we take advantage of it, you'll be amazed at what the difference it's going to make. Food in general, compared to supplements, compared to anything else, any medication you're going to take, food provides us with the most natural and bioavailable sources of nutrients. And food, again, is fuel. I talked about that last week, but food is a very, very easy resource. And in some ways, cheap because you're not having to pay for these supplements, you're not having to pay for the medications. It's a cheap source for year round health support. If you're not eating seasonally, which many people aren't because it's really hard to know what is seasonal and what isn't, it's actually really easy. If you just do a quick Google search, you can search seasonal produce Michigan, and it will typically give you spring, summer, fall, winter seasonal produce. And I highly recommend eating seasonally. We actually have an entire episode that we've done on this. I'll put it in the show notes. But where we talk about what is seasonal and what isn't, but I would especially focus on the spring and the summer seasons because that's what's going to help you with allergy season. Allergies are not fun. I totally get it. So, what about the symptoms that come from allergies that are common? The sneezing, the coughing, the headaches. First things first, I always say to drink a lot of water. Make sure you're flushing whatever you've got going on out. If you're getting a lot of headaches, I highly recommend reaching for the water that's mineralized first. So, put a little bit of salt, but making sure it's clean salt. You can use like Celtic sea salt. You could use like Himalayan sea salt. Using that in your water is actually going to help your body absorb that water and the hydrations into your cells. And that's going to help make sure you're having healthy bowel movements, which is why fiber is super important when it comes to seasonal allergies, because bowel movements will help your gut, will help your body, and will help you just ease those allergies that you are getting. Another thing that I did talk about a couple weeks ago is those food intolerances. If you have food intolerances in your that are present in your body, like if you have those antibodies like we talked about a couple weeks ago, you are going to be that much more susceptible to seasonal allergies. And the reason being, like I said 2 weeks ago, is because your body is so focused on fighting what's going on in your gut that it's not going to be focused on fighting off the seasonal allergies that you're going to be getting. So if you struggle with seasonal allergies, that's a very big red flag that you've got a lot of inflammation going on in your gut. So trying to address that is also, I think, really, really, really important. Making sure you're getting a lot of sleep. That's also important because that is how our body heals, that is how our body rests. And also making sure that we are bathing, especially when we are outside, to bathe all of that away from us. Right? Like, I mean, yes, I shouldn't have to sit there and say, like, go shower, although sometimes I sit there and remind myself I have to wash my hair. But you should be showering, especially after you're exposed to anything that's outside, if you feel like your allergies are bad, because that way, if it's sitting on your skin, it's absorbing into your skin, just get it off your body and make sure you are showering. And I would say, again, the last big thing and I would say the last big thing that I would recommend focusing on for your allergies is staying active. Being active, working out, keeping your heart rate activated, really truly just constantly moving your body. Moving your body is so good for you in all realms of anything. You could say, what should I do for this? And I'll probably tell you, work out or stay active. I'm not sitting there saying you have to go, lift heavy weights every single day. It could be something as simple as go for a walk every single day. But as long as you're staying active, you are going to do so much service for your health. So, quick episode, lots of great things here. My biggest recommendation is find those fuel sources, eat seasonally. That is going to help with your allergies. Absolutely make sure you get some local raw honey. Find a local farmer, find a local farmer's market. If you still don't know, I'm sure you can find someone who knows of a farmer or knows of a beekeeper that will be able to get you that seasonal. But you do have to make sure it is local, because it's got to be local to your area. The other day, or the other month, I was in Florida and they were selling local Sarasota farmers market honey. And wow, it was so tasty and so good. That's not going to help my allergies because that's um, completely different vegetation down there versus what's up here. So make sure it's local. And then again, a couple of the other things, eliminating the intolerant foods in your body if you're really struggling. Make sure you're having bowel movements, make sure you're staying hydrated, and make sure you are moving. So I hope this helps and I hope this gives you some relief. I know allergies can be a pain in the butt. They're always a pain for me too, but I have really been able to relieve a lot of my allergies the last couple years by focusing on these things. So if you know of someone who struggles with seasonal allergies that needs to hear this episode, please share this with them and give us a rating and review if you have not yet. That is what helps this podcast grow. So thanks for always tuning in week after week, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Confidently Flawed.